Shall we start, ma'am? Ruhani and Manaswini.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished guests, respected principals, esteemed heads of school, our inspiring and wonderful teachers, loving parents, proud alumni, and my dear friends. I, Rohani from DPSG International,
And I, Manaswini from DPSG Vasundhara, extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to the second episode of Synergy, a panel discussion by students of grade 9 social science from all the DPSG schools across Ghaziabad, Gurugram, and Dehradun.
at the outset, we would like to thank our Honorable Chairman, Sir, Mr. Om Pathak, for introducing us to Synergy, a novel, unique, and exceptional idea, providing us with a platform to connect, collaborate, and give wings to our imagination. Today, we have gathered here to engage in insightful discussions, explore diverse perspectives, and celebrate the essence of democracy that shapes our nation.
We are privileged to have amidst us our mentor and guiding force, Chairman DPSG Society, Mr. Om Pathak, who stands apart on the strength of his erudition, statesmanship, and a charismatic personality. A former IAS officer, Sir is the heart, soul, and mind behind the school's vision and philosophy. We are extremely honored to have you with us today, sir.
It is my proud privilege to welcome our special guest, Mr. Mayank Chari, a geoeconomist who focuses on international trade, policy analysis, and media strategy. Sir is currently working as an associate at Abhilash Puljal and Company, where he specializes in trade facilitation and international political risk analysis. His contributions to prominent newspapers and international journals reflect his profound knowledge and deep insights on national security, diplomacy, and development policy. It is an honor to have you amidst us today, sir.
We are delighted to welcome amidst us Dr. Vidukesh Vimal, Principal, DPSG Palam Vihar. With an illustrious career spanning prestigious institutions and a passion for photography, theatre, and poetry, Dr. Vimal brings a unique perspective to our gathering. Welcome, sir. Your presence enriches our discussions today.
It is our pleasure to welcome amongst us Mr. Kittika Sukul, a proud alumnus of GPSG of the 2013 batch, having graduated from the prestigious National University of Study and Research in Law, with a specialization in cyber laws and cyber forensics. He is also the founding partner of Pinaka Law Offices LLP. He is also associated as a legal consultant with the Ministry of Home Affairs, overseeing High Court and Supreme Court matters within the Disaster Management Division. I am sure coming back to your alma mater has brought back cherished memories of your school days at DPSG. We welcome you, sir.
As we embark on our journey to explore the key features of democracy, I invite all the participants to introduce themselves. We have Indranil from Sushant Lok, Samar and Udayveer from Dehradun, Kanav and Vishesh from Faridabad, here Aditya and Sachi Gupta from Palam Vihar, Shaurya, Aryaman and Amrit from Meerut Road, Yashvi and Khushi from Vasundhara, Srinjoy and Yashika from DPSG International, and Ansh and Arunya from Selakwi International.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Indrani from DPSG Sushantlo, grade 9th.
Hello everyone, I am Samar from Dehradun and I'm very honored to be here.
Please continue, do not break, beta.
Kanav and Aditya. Kanav and Aditya, please come.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I am Kanav and I am happy to be here.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. I am Aditya of DPSG Palam Bihar, and I am honored to be here, a part of Synergy event. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Shaurya
morning,
Mudarbi.
everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Shaurya Chauhan of DPSC Meerut Road. I am glad that I got a chance to share my views in the synergy.
Good morning, good evening, hello there, greetings. I'm honored to be a part of this discussion. I'm Aryaman Chaudhary from DPSG Meerut Road.
Wow, Aryaman, that was a cool intro. By the way, hello everyone. I'm Amrit Miglani and I'm delighted to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yashvi from DPSG Vasundhara. I'm privileged to be here.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Khushi Gupta from DPSGS Vasundhara, and I'm glad to attend this discussion.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Shinja from DPS International, and it's a great pleasure for me to participate in the synergy, and I look forward to all the discussions.
Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
everyone.
everyone. I'm Yashika and I'm from DPSG International. I'm glad to be here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Arunya Bhatia from Selako International School, and I am honored to be here.
So, we have wonderful teams, interesting topics, and an intellectual audience. We look forward to a great discussion ahead.
I am sure each one of us is eager to explore the intricacies and shed light on what makes democracy such a pivotal force in modern societies. I now invite Indranil and Summer to begin with the essence of democracy, one that ensures every adult citizen has the right to vote and participate in the electoral process, universal adult franchise.
Good evening, everyone. Universal adult franchise, also known as universal suffrage, is a fundamental principle of democracy that grants every adult citizen the right to vote in elections. It allows them to speak their own voice and their own opinions. It is also essential in building stronger communities. It matters since it is the foundation of democracy. It empowers individuals, as stated before, to shape their communities and nations to their liking and protect their own rights and freedoms. It promotes diversity and representation. It strengthens communities to work together and honor the sacrifices of past generations. But we also have to ask, who can vote? There is usually a minimum age requirement for voting. In many countries, this is set at 18 years old, although it can vary from country to country. And the reason behind this is that it is considered that people over the age of 18 years old have a more rational thinking and can ensure that voters have reached a level of maturity to vote. Yet, there are still challenges for voting, like misinformation and disinformation. The spread of misinformation and disinformation can impact voter participation. False information about voter eligibility requirements, polling locations, and election dates can confuse and discourage voters from participating in elections. So, my conclusion from this is that voting is indispensable to the functioning of a democratic society. It empowers citizens to shape their government, hold elected officials accountable, and ensure representation and inclusivity to all. Now, I would like to call my dear friend Summer to speak her opinion on this.
Thank you, Indranil. I would like to add some more points to this topic. Universal adult franchise is also known as universal suffrage. It is a fundamental concept in democracy. It ensures that every citizen of the country has the right to vote in elections, regardless of their caste, class, religion, gender, or any other consideration. In India, universal adult franchise has played a crucial role in creating the world's largest democracy. The adoption of universal adult franchise in India was a bold and visionary act. After India gained independence in 1947, the country faced monumental challenges, such as partition with Pakistan, territorial division, and the need to integrate 552 sovereign princely states. The framers of the Indian Constitution envisioned a democratic system where every adult citizen would have an equal say in governance. They rejected any form of property based or educational qualifications for voting, emphasizing that the right to vote should be available to all. The vision was rooted in the belief that democracy thrives when every voice is heard, regardless of social status, economic background. Article 326 of the Indian Constitution explicitly provides for universal adult suffrage. It states that the elections to the House of the People and to the Legislative Assembly of every state shall be on the basis of the adult suffrage. The framers deliberately chose not to impose any restrictions on voting rights, ensuring that all citizens aged 18 and above could participate in the electoral process. Universal franchise has empowered millions of Indians to exercise their democratic rights. However, challenges remain, such as voter education, accessibility, and ensuring that marginalized communities are not disenfranchised. Efforts continue to enhance voter participation and strengthen the democratic fabric of India. In summary, universal franchise in India reflects the spirit of inclusivity, equality, and the belief that every vote matters. It remains a cornerstone of a vibrant democracy. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to my friend Kanav.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. So, free and fair elections are the heartbeat of a democratic society, the mechanism through which citizens exercise their right to choose their leaders and shape the future of their nation. The essence of a free and fair election lies in its inclusivity and integrity. It's about ensuring that every eligible voter has the opportunity to participate without hindrance or discrimination. It's a truly free and fair election. Every vote counts equally, regardless of a person's background, wealth, or status. It's about giving voice to voiceless, empowering marginalized communities, and fostering a sense of ownership among citizens. Moreover, a fair election demands a level playing field for all candidates, where they can compete based on their ideas, merits, and vision for future. It's about upholding the principle of accountability, where leaders are chosen based on their ability to serve the interest of people. In conclusion, let us reaffirm our commitment to promote and live in free and fair election as bedrock of democracy, by ensuring that every vote is counted, every voice is heard. So I would like to call Aditya to share his views about this topic.
Thank you, Kanav, for handing over the topic to me. Talking about free and fair elections, discussing free and fair elections is crucial for understanding and upholding democratic principles. Here are some discussion points on the topic. Free and fair elections are crucial for democracy, ensuring the expression of the people's will. They involve transparency, inclusivity, competitiveness, and trustworthiness. There are some key elements of free and fair elections. Such as credible elections must reflect the free expression of the people's will and adhere to principles such as transparency, inclusivity, and competition. Electoral laws and regulations ensure voter rights, access to information, and freedom from fraud. In the free and fair elections, there is a major role of election monitoring. Citizen election monitoring enhances electoral integrity, bolsters public confidence, and corrects errors. Nations need to welcome international and domestic observers. Challenges to free and fair elections include voter suppression, electoral fraud, disinformation campaigns, and lack of political competition. Although there are some strategies to address these challenges like legal reforms, civic education, strengthening democratic institutions, international monitoring, cybersecurity measures, and public education. Technology offers benefits like electronic voting systems and voter registration databases, but also risks such as hacking and misinformation. Strategies include cybersecurity measures, transparency, regulation of social media, and adherence to international standards. Voter and civic education empower citizens for meaningful participation in elections, which is crucial for democratic success, especially in post-conflict areas. Now, I would like to call Shaurya to start over with the new topic.
Certainly, Aditya. Law and order are the medicine of the body politics, and when the body politics gets sick, medicine must be administered. These were the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Rule of law is a legal philosophy where everybody, let it be the one who has legislated the law, let it be who executes the law or who decides the law, means judges, and the subject people who all follow the same set of rules. Then there we can see the situation is a rule of law. A British positivist and philosopher A.B. Dicey said that there are three facets of rule of law. The first one of them is equality before law, being the most important one of them. The second, he says, the punishment must be meted out on the written set of rules. Third, the constitution is the supreme law. In India, Article 265 of the Indian Constitution also states that tax must be charged on the basis of law. We can also trace the origin of rule of law from ancient Indian philosophy, the Arthashastra tax, where Chanakya said even the king is bound from the written set of rules. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution stands at the forefront of rule of law in India, where even a prime minister or the highest dignity was punished for breaking the rules of the model code of conduct. This shows how Indian Constitution guarantees and safeguards the concept of rule of law. Another example is that Justice Chinnaswamy Karnan, a judge in May 2017, was punished and given imprisonment for 6 months for breaking the rules and doing contempt of court. Udavi, would you also like to share your points in the conversation?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Those were some excellent pointers, my friend. Talking about the rule of law is a fundamental principle that ensures a society is governed by laws rather than arbitrary decisions. It implies to all individuals, including government officials, that they are bound and accountable to the law. Under this principle, laws are clear, fair, and applied equally to everyone, regardless of their position in society. It guarantees the protection of individual rights and liberties, promotes stability, and fosters trust in the legal system. The rule of law encompasses several key elements, such as legal clarity, equality before law, accountability, and access to justice. Legal certainty ensures that laws are clear, predictable, and applied consistently, providing individuals with confidence in the legal system. Equality before the law demands all individuals are subject to same laws and procedures, irrespective of their wealth, power, or influence. Accountability holds the government officials responsible for their actions, preventing abuse of power and corruption. Access to justice ensures that everyone has the right to seek legal remedies and resolve disputes in a fair and impartial manner. Ultimately, the rule of law is essential for upholding democracy, protecting human rights, and promoting social justice. I wonder what we will learn about next.
Thank you, friends.
To continue with our discussion, I invite Yashvi and Anj to speak on accommodation of social diversity, without which we cannot live in peace and happiness.
Now, I will be sharing my opinion on accommodation of social diversity. Diversity is the essence of our society, woven into the very fabric of our existence. As we navigate through life, it is crucial to recognize and embrace the rich tapestry of cultures, beliefs, and backgrounds that surround us. Accommodating social diversity means creating an environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and included, regardless of their differences. It's about fostering a culture of acceptance and understanding where individuals are celebrated for their unique identities and perspectives. Democracy accommodates social diversity as it allows for equality, fair representation to all, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, race, religion, etc. Democracy also ensures that the government should not be made by the majority, but it should have the representation of minorities as well. Accommodation of social diversity in democracy helps the citizens to lead a peaceful and harmonious life. This happens when various types of social divisions are accommodated. India and Belgium are the countries that are examples of accommodation of social diversity. Accommodating social diversity isn't just a moral imperative, it is also essential for societal progress and harmony. When we embrace diversity, we open up ourselves to new ideas, experiences, and ways of thinking. This enriches our lives and broadens our horizons, fostering innovation, creativity, and collaboration. Arunya, what are your thoughts on this?
I think that makes sense. Now I will be adding to your points and re explaining it briefly. Let's explore the critical concept of the accommodation of social diversity. In our world, diversity is not just a reality, it's a strength. Social diversity encompasses differences in culture, ethnicity, religion, language, gender, and more. Embracing and accommodating this diversity is crucial for fostering harmony, understanding, and progress in our societies. Accommodating social diversity means creating an inclusive environment where everybody feels respected, valued, and able to fully participate in society regardless of their background. It involves recognizing and appreciating the richness that diversity brings to our communities and institutions. One key of accommodating social diversity is promoting tolerance and acceptance. This means respecting the beliefs, practices, and perspectives of others, even if they differ from our own. By fostering an atmosphere of tolerance, we create space for dialogue, mutual understanding, and cooperation among people from diverse backgrounds. Moreover, accommodating social diversity requires us to address systematic barriers and inequalities that may prevent certain groups from fully participating in society. This can involve implementing policies and initiatives that promote equal opportunities and access to resources for all members of society, regardless of their social or cultural background. Education also plays a crucial role in accommodating social diversity. By teaching about different cultures, histories, and perspectives, we can foster empathy, appreciation, cross cultural, and understanding among individuals. Education equips people with the knowledge and skills needed to navigate and thrive in diverse societies. In conclusion, accommodating social diversity is not just an moral imperative, it's essential for building inclusive, resilient, and vibrant communities. By embracing diversity, promoting tolerance, addressing systematic inequalities, and investing in education, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to flourish regardless of their background. What do you think of it, Srinjoy?
Okay, now let's talk about why in representative democracies like India, it's important that the final decision should be taken always by the elected representatives. In a representative democracy like India, elected representatives derive their authority from the democratic mandate given by the citizens through free and fair elections. Representatives are accountable to the electorate for their actions and decisions, as they are chosen to serve the interests of the people who elected them. They represent the diverse voices and interests of the population at the grassroots level, ensuring that decisions reflect the will and needs of the people. In the Indian parliamentary system, laws and policies are formulated and enacted by elected representatives through the legislative process, which includes debates, discussions, and voting. The executive branch of government, headed by elected leaders such as Prime Minister and chief ministers, implements the policies and decisions made by the elected representatives. While elected representatives have the power to make decisions, the system also incorporates checks and balances to prevent abuse of power and ensure accountability. While representatives make decisions on behalf of the people, democracy also allows for public participation through mechanisms such as petitions, protests, and feedback channels to influence decision making. What do you think about it, Yashvi?
In a democratic society, one of the fundamental principles is that the power ultimately rests with the people. The final decision resting with the representatives of the people is a fundamental concept in democratic governance. It signifies the culmination of the democratic process, where elected officials chosen by the people make decisions on behalf of the entire society. This system ensures that the voices and interests of the people are represented in the decision making process. One of the key advantages of the final decision resting with the representatives of the people, is accountability. Elected officials are accountable to their constituents for their actions and decisions. If representatives fail to uphold the interests of people or act against their wishes, they can be held accountable through various means, such as elections, public scrutiny, and legal processes. This accountability mechanism fosters transparency and ensures that elected officials act in the best interests of the public. Aditya, what are your thoughts on freedom of speech, which is the true essence of democracy?
Thank you, Yashvi, for calling me. Talking about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is fundamental to democracy as it allows individuals to express their opinions, participate in public discourse, and hold those in power accountable. While freedom of speech is crucial, it also comes with responsibilities such as avoiding hate speech or incitement to violence, highlighting the delicate balance between protecting liberties and harm and preventing harm. In recent days, there are some evolving challenges. In the digital age, freedom of speech faces new challenges such as online censorship, misinformation, and the spread of harmful content, prompting discussions on how to regulate speech while safeguarding individual liberties. There are some cultural and global perspectives. Perspectives on freedom of speech vary globally, reflecting cultural norms, historical context, and legal frameworks, sparking debates on the universality versus cultural relativity of this fundamental rights. Of this fundamental right. What do you think about this topic, Srinjoy?
Sure, Aditya, I agree with you on all counts and would like to add that it allows citizens to express their opinions, participate in public discussions, and hold the government accountable. We have the right to express ourselves freely, but like all good things, within reasonable restrictions. India boasts of a vibrant media with a diverse range of newspapers, television channels, and social media platforms. This freedom enables journalists to report on issues of public interest without fear of censorship, contributing to aware and well informed citizens. In a diverse country like India, freedom of speech fosters an environment where different people, perspectives, and ideas can coexist peacefully, contributing to a more inclusive and democratic society. Freedom of speech has been instrumental in advocating for marginalized communities, promoting gender equality, and raising our voice against injustices. It allows scholars, researchers, and students like us to engage in open inquiry and come up with innovative solutions to challenges, making us a progressive country. Furthermore, it enhances India's reputation as the largest democracy in the world.
That was a remarkable, thought provoking, and insightful discussion. Isn't it wonderful how things are shaping up? We take this opportunity to invite our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Mayank Chari, to address the gathering.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm so glad. Okay. So it's an honor to be among such bright minds, and I am so impressed with the level of discussion and the depth of the discussion that we've had today. I recently came across two very beautiful quotes. The first by Nelson Mandela, who said that the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow, and second by Eric Hoffer, who was an American philosopher, who said that the youth are not born leaders, but are made into leaders. In this spirit, I commend the efforts of DPSG, and I appreciate this initiative by Mr. Om Pathak sir, who is engaging with the youth and giving the youth a platform to talk about such important issues. Now, I have three very, very important questions that I'm going to ask the panel today, and I would appreciate it if someone would give me an answer to them, or we can have this as more of an open discussion. The first question is that we have all been reading the news that there has been an increase in voter apathy, and more people are not going to vote, especially in urban areas. Especially in urban areas, people are not going out to vote where we assume that they are going to be more educated. So my first question is, what can students do to raise the awareness about voting, and what can they do to make sure that more and more people go out and vote?
Yes,
I,
Amrit?
I
Yes, Mayank, you can take a lead and call their names.
Absolutely. I think I saw Amrit's hand go up first.
Yes, sir, I don't have a complete answer, but on a very personal level, first we have to convince the adults around us, right? Our parents, our grandparents, our relatives, all of them. We have to tell them that voting is very essential. If you think any of the candidates are not good according to you, according to the information that you have, then instead of not even voting, you should at least go and click the nota button. If you are not even doing that, this shows that you are not ready to participate in the electoral process, which is very important, as if we do not elect the leaders ourselves and then complain that the leaders are very bad, then it's kind of ironical.
Very good, very good. I think I see Srijan Joy Bakshi.
Yes, sir. Sir, my opinion is, sir, as we in our school, we launched a very good video in that encouraging voting for adults. As adults, like, so I have seen some people who do not care about voting, who do not care about the country, and they see that, like, okay, let's what's going on is fine, what we will do, and what, sir, they don't care. So, sir, what we can try to tell them is that how voting is important, and how the ministers, the government is always responsible for the working of the country, and how they make the country progressive and the best country in the world. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic, very good. We will have Aryaman next.
I think in the voting landscape, people certainly do have sentiments about political parties and the government's doing, but they're really not interested or see a lack of any good political party they would like to vote for when going to a physical vote. And they think that putting in the nota option is really just a waste of time. So, while I was thinking about what I'd say, I encountered a quote by George Jean Nathan, which says, "Bad officials are elected by good citizens who don't vote." Of course, there's a lot of sentiment, negative especially, about how the government's doing wrongdoings and is wrong at multiple levels. So, instead of completely blaming it on them, I'd like to bring in my topic a little bit. And my topic was collective responsibility. With this collective responsibility, we also have it as citizens, and we need to take the blame also and vote. Now, as children, we can't exactly vote, but we can certainly raise awareness by encouraging our parents and encouraging our neighbors.
Very good, very good. We will have Aditya Sharma next.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, what do I think is that during the times of voting, although officers give a day off so that people can go and vote for their elected leaders. As I was just presenting some discussion points on the topic freedom of speech, I can clearly state that those people who never vote, they think it's a waste of time. They are the only ones who always say that this political leader is not good and other things. But why do they have to say things like that when they didn't vote? And right now there are online, we can vote online, and there are like on duty vehicles and on duty people who just bring their vans to homes for elderly people. So why can't they vote when government is providing such facilities so that people can vote their elected leaders if they want to do their work for job? So why don't they do it in their office or their organizations? The holiday which is given for voting is especially for voting so that India can be a better country, and that is the reason that in India people say that democracy is not good. How will the democracy be good if the citizens will not take part effectively in the elections and all those things?
Very good, Aditya. Very sharp views. We'll have Yashvi next.
Sir, I think that the people, the citizens of India today feel voting election as a burden on them, but they rather should see it as a responsibility and a privilege that they are able to choose their leaders and they are able to have a say in the governance and in the policies they make. I think that the efficiency of the voting area should be increased. The vehicle should be stopped so there are easy access to the voters, and the efficiency at the areas should also be increased. Thank you,
Fantastic.
sir.
I completely agree. We will have Arunya Bhatia. Arunya, are you with us? Okay, I think
Excuse
we
me,
can.
sir,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah, perfect. I can hear you now. Yeah.
So I was saying that as we know, that democracy is of the people, by the people, and for the people. We have to make our elders realize that every vote matters, because sometimes there can be a difference between the uh, elected person you want or others don't. So that every vote matters and you can get what you want if you vote.
Very good, very good, Arun. We will have Shaurya next.
Thank you, sir. Sir, according to me, voting is the most important right that people have. So there are two suggestions that I wanted to share. So one is the government should conduct elections one time only, having the concept of one nation, one election. So as many people in India think that there are so many elections and they miss many votes. So if there, so election will be conducted in one go only. So there will be large voter turnout, and also the money that government is spending on conducting elections will also be reduced by a lot. So second, it can be government should decide a time when the weather is also fine. Sir, as noticed in the general election 2024 in Western Uttar Pradesh, it was noticed that this was the time of the harvest, so cultivation. So many farmers were not able to attend and vote because of their field work. So these things should also be taken in concern before announcing the schedule of the general election. Uh, it will contribute even if 5 votes, if 5% of vote, it will increase. That becomes a lot.
Exceptional answer, Shaurya. Exceptional answer. Very, very well said. We will have one last answer before we go on to the next question. And I think I can see Uday Veer's hand. So, Uday Veer,
Uh, uh, Thank you, sir. I have seen from my daily life that people have this sort of misconception about politics that that it's bad and that's like messed up and we should stay far away from it. But that's the complete opposite from what the people should actually be doing. They should be more open-minded and should be participating in the workings of the government so as to get the government they actually want. And seeing as social media is so prevalent nowadays, we can start a social students or teachers in the school can start social media campaigns and utilize platforms like Twitter and Facebook to share little cartoons or something like that to spread information about the voting so that more people can actually see them and understand.
thank you so much for such a structured answer. Yes, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, voting is our responsibility, which brings me to my second question. And I hope you're all able to understand the depth at which I'm asking you this question. It is that what is the responsibility between our democratic rights and our democratic responsibilities? How can we bridge the gap between our democratic rights and our democratic responsibilities? I think I can see Stream Joy. Yes, go ahead, please.
Sir, as we say there are two sides of a coin. So I feel that rights and duties should go hand in hand. If our government is giving us certain rights and we are happy about it, so we should also be happy and do the government something. We should follow the duties. All the 11, 12 duties are there in the Constitution of India. So should always follow them and make the country as good as possible. Thank you, sir.
Very good answer. I think we have Om Pathak sir's hand raising, so we'll invite him now. Sir, on to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Everyone.
We are so honored to have you, sir.
I did not act. Thank you. I did not actually initially propose to come in, but as I heard the debate and the quality of debate, I really couldn't hold myself back from interjecting and just saying a few words. To young friends who are on the debate today and those who are attending it, I can say that elections is something that it's been quite integral to my persona. I handle elections at the national level. I have been a parliamentary candidate myself. So I probably have a 360-degree view on elections. And it is from that, or it's in that background, I can say that the quality of debate I heard was profound, was absolutely super excellent. I mean, I could not even for once imagine that the young minds could be so perceptive and so well informed about the elections. I was absolutely thrilled to hear each one of you. You have very mature views and very profound and deep understanding of the various aspects of elections. Like one of you said that the elections must be one nation, one election, so that people can come in once in 5 years. But to be going out to vote every second year sometimes sets in the election or the voting fatigue. And that's probably one of the reasons why the percentage is low. But to share with our young minds, the principal reason for low turnout is the domestic migration. When people move out of their home constituencies, either looking for work or going for higher education or for anything else. So there's a good about 33% of the people in the country today are the domestic migrants. That is, people from Bihar may be in Maharashtra. So would they be expected to come all the way back to Bihar to vote for just one day? There's a huge cost to it. There's which and also the cost of travel and the cost of movement. So domestic migration is one of the principal reasons for the low voting. And the second reason is very largely the urban apathy. The people who know too much, the people who understand elections and knowledge nuances are the ones who never go out to vote. The, 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 the paradox is the people who have the highest stake in as to who comes in to rule the country are the ones who don't participate in democracy. So that is the paradox. That is, that is the irony of it all. So, but the reason why I wanted to come in was to to tell you that it was a wonderfully well informed and a well presented exchange of ideas. I'm deeply impressed. Boys and girls, I'm deeply impressed. In fact, I'm running off for elections. So I would take leave. Priya, thank you so much. I
Thank you,
think
sir. It was a
my
privilege, sir. It was a privilege to have you, sir. I think, sir, few of the students would like to ask you a question or two, if you have a minute. I can
yeah,
see
okay,
Shaurya
okay,
Chauhan.
okay. Sorry, Mayank, sorry. This is your space. I shouldn't be entering this space.
Not at all, sir. Please, sir, please.
Yeah.
We bask in your wisdom, sir.
Yeah, any questions on elections?
Yes, just two questions. Shaurya?
Yeah.
Shaurya Chauhan? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, like as BJP has in its manifesto, like also said that the concept of one nation, one election should be coming in. So, sir, what are your views on that, and how and from when it will be implemented if the ruling party comes in power, as it is a good concept, and you also.
Yeah. You see, what happens is in democracies, it is not always the merit. It is also the public perception. That's extremely important. Hence, that must be very effectively managed. Sometimes a lot of good decisions do boomerang because the people view it differently. They view it with suspicion. You must have heard about the debate of EVMs. The electronic voting machines are probably one who have done away with all the ills of elections, all the possible potholes of elections. Because I've seen the days when we used to carry paper ballots and big steel boxes for conducting elections. As against that, the EVMs have made it 100 times easier than what it used to be. But then, you see what people are trying to do? They're trying to play around with the public perception, saying that the EVMs can be manipulated. Now, I can tell you with all responsibility and in all seriousness that EVMs simply cannot be manipulated. Even one vote cannot be touched. We speak of there are about 98 crore voters, registered voters, 99 crores registered voters for 2014, and I expect around 68 to 69 crores will actually vote. Now, in that, not one single vote can be touched. So I was telling you about the management of perceptions. So what the government did, it formed a high-level committee under the former president, Mr. Ram, Mr. Kovind, and Mr. Kovind and some very eminent people like N.K. Singh and others who were the members. They gave the political parties who are the principal stakeholders in any democratic process, they gave them time to present their views as to what is it that they want done. So each one of them presented the views, and finally, the high-level committee, headed by Mr. Ramnath Kovind, the former president, has submitted its recommendation saying it is time that it should be one nation, one election. For this generation, which was not even born when the constitution was brought in, between 1951 and 1952, when the first elections in the country were held, until the year 1967, the nation actually saw one nation, one election. Parliament and assembly elections used to be held together. It was only in 1968 when Mrs. Indira Gandhi, as the Prime Minister, first imposed or invoked the provisions of Article 356 of the Constitution, wherein an elected state government was dismissed. So, the moment the elected state government was dismissed, the cycle of elections got disturbed. And from then on, we had elections through the year. I have, in the last 14 years, conducted or at least been a part of managing nearly 150 odd elections. And I can tell you, it's very tiring. So one of the things that you mentioned, you not only save direct expenses in conducting elections, but oftentimes all your development programs, all your development initiatives are put on hold. Let's say if somebody from the US or UK wants to invest in India, they would wait until the new government comes in. So that means the investment decision and the money inflow that could have happened much earlier would have to wait for 6 months. Now, if the new government that comes in is not or does not inspire confidence, then that investment may never come. And you know, when investment comes into manufacturing or in services, it generates employment. That means if the investment doesn't come in, the employment is not generated. The commodities are not produced. Your GDP, your gross domestic product, does not grow. And your per capita incomes are also impacted adversely. So it has a terrible impact. So therefore, imagine if you have one nation, one election, it will be once in 5 years. And for the next 5 years, everything is fine. The new governments can come in, they can formulate their policies, they can attract investments, be it domestic or be it foreign, they can generate employment, they can generate wealth, they can redistribute that wealth. All of that can happen only if there is a stable government with predictable policies. So the impact of one nation, many elections is not only the cost of holding those elections, but essentially and very largely is the loss of opportunity. Now, a rough estimate is that one nation, many election leads to a loss of possible GDP growth to the extent of 1 to 1.2%. Now, 1 to 1.2% GDP is a huge amount. Huge amount. So that is the loss that the country suffers on account of one nation, many elections. And as one of you brought out, that will be a very major step forward. And you asked me when will that happen? I think it will happen pretty much soon as the new government gets in.
Can we have the last question by Shinjoy? That's all, sir. Just one more question, sir. And then a word of thanks for you, sir.
Sir, I wanted to ask that, sir, what's your take on the electoral bond scam?
Very good question. There's a lot of misinformation that is floating around. See, I must take you back to the times when there were no electoral bonds. I would not name the political party, but I was a part of that process. Every time we needed money, we will go to the party treasurer or some other designated person who would ask you, "Kitna chahiye?" You will say, 2 crore de do, 3 crore de do. He said, "अच्छा ठीक है, पीछे गोडाउन में जाके बोरियों में पैसा होता था, कितना बोरी चाहिए, 2 बोरी 3 बोरी उठाओ और आपका हो गया." So, in fact, the entire funding was in cash. We didn't know where the cash came from, and we didn't know where the cash went. There was no mechanism of tracking that. Now, in 2017, when the bonds were first introduced, the objective was to bring in transparency, to track the flow of money as to where does it come from and where does it go. Until 2017, we did not have an iota of an idea as to where the money came and where the money went off to. And that money, the source of that money could be corporate funding. And a lot of times the source of that money was dirty money. It could be drug money. It could be liquor mafia money. It could be real dirty money. And we had no idea. What did the electoral bonds do? In electoral bond scheme, the government said, unless you have a proper bank account and unless your identity was established either as a person or as a corporate, you could not buy a bond. That means you could not buy a bond by depositing cash. So the money had to come from an account, a verified account. So that means the source of fund, as soon as a bond is bought, is known, and the bonds could only be bought from State Bank of India, none other, which is one of the largest banks, as you know. So the State Bank of India will verify the person who's buying the electoral bond, and the money will come from an established account with a good credit balance, and a bond will be issued. The bond was like a bearer bond. It bore nobody's name. It is just given to the buyer. So we have established now as to where has the money come from. Now, where does the money go? Now, this person, depending on his political leanings or whatever, he would go to a political party and say, I want to give you this bond. So the political party will take that bond and put it in the party account. Now remember, it's coming from a bank account and it is going to a bank account. So we know as to where the money came from. We know where the money is going. So that is how the electoral bond was supposed to have brought in greater transparency and more accountability. Until 2017, we did not have a fin test idea. Now, between 2017 and 2023, the total electoral bonds that were purchased were to the order of around 16,000 crores. Now, you can safely assume similar monies would have been raised and spent in the past as well, in that time period of 7 years, right? And that money, we don't know where it came from and where it went. Now we know where did the 18,000 crore come in and who got it. So there is no scam of electoral bonds. And it always happens. I have contested elections, so I know it is always the probable winner who gets the lion's share of such contributions. Will you bet on a losing horse? If you were to bet on anything, who would you bet on? The one who is most likely to win. Is it or not? So, if BJP got more money, it is only understandable. But other parties also got a lot of money. So, to call it a scam is not right. And the reasons of striking down the electoral bonds by the Supreme Court are very misplaced and very unfortunate. They have invoked Article 19(1) of the Constitution, which actually is not right. So someday, people will go back to the electoral bonds, and that will be soon. We want to know where has the money come from. We want to know where is the money going. At least that information is important. So remember, there is no scam. and the losers don't get money. It is only the probable winners who get more money. It's a law of the land. It's a law of the nature. It's how countries across the world behave. Okay?
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your words of
Okay.
wisdom. These children have really learned a lot from your presence today. Sir, Vidukesh
Yeah,
sir is also here. Vidukesh sir is also here.
I have really enjoyed listening to their very well researched and very mature views on elections.
So it is these children and it's the
मैंने
teachers.
सोचा था मैं नहीं आऊंगा, मैं नहीं
नहीं,
बोलूंगा,
आपको आना
मैं
चाहिए
खाली
सर,
सुन
आपकी
के जाऊंगा.
प्रेजेंस से ही बहुत फर्क पड़ जाता है. और सर ये सब एजुकेटर्स जो है आपके डिफरेंट स्कूल्स के, they are the ones who contributed towards really uplifting the confidence of the children to this extent that they can
Okay,
think so critically. Vidukesh
I
sir
am
is here,
the
sir. So just a moment, Vidukesh sir is here. Sir, one last thing, Vidukesh sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I know, as I always said, whenever I met Om sir, it's always pleasure to listen to him and his, his kind of information what he shares with all of us. That's something, is phenomenal. The kind of things he shared with us, and the data and the detailing till date, everything is there where it should be. But coming to the democracy, boys and the students and masters, it's very important to understand, a couple of things. And sir has already spoken about, you guys spoken about it. And let me uh, take you through some of the basics, which I think is very important to understand when we talk about democracy. In democracy, the most important thing is through the vote, you are basically telling or say you are conveying the message that you are giving authority to people. You give authority. And that's why this word authority needs to be understood with little more seriousness. What happened, if you look at the history of Indian democracy, in the initial days, when people were elected, they thought that they've been given the authority to lead the country, and they started doing it. And many of them has contributed in the development of this country. But unfortunately, we have lost track somewhere. And this is how the authority of the individual, the authority of, say, a person became that, individual's right. And this is how the leaders who are supposed to lead us, those who are supposed to guide the say country and the people, they started showing as if they are the newborn kings. They are the newborn, kind of center of powers. And that's why we need to understand this new word, center of power. If you look at the history, that different point of time, that different things were center of power. Once upon a time, church was center of power. Once upon a time, in our country, temples were center of power. In different point of time, there are different center of powers which had existed in the past. And in the modern democracy in our country, we have gone through that phase where individuals, in the name of our representatives or leaders, they became the center of power. What we need to understand that, in today's time, and I guess if you look at the way democracy has changed, the way we are moving and evolving, it's very important to understand that authority is something which the people of the country is giving it to you or the leaders, and that's why they should take it as a responsibility. You are being given the authority to govern. It means your responsibility and accountability lies towards the people. And I feel that if you look at any government, I'll not take side with A party and B party. If you look at, say, for example, take example from Odisha. Mr. Patnaik is there in that state for n number of years. The kind of contribution, the kind of accountability he has shown, that he had taken a state who was not, say, first 20 states in this country or first 10 states in the country, but where it is now today. If you look at the development graph of Odisha, if you look at the central government level, they have taken, some of the lead, the government has taken it as if it is their responsibility. They've been given the authority. It's their responsibility to pay back to the community. Look at the kind of infrastructure development which has happened in this country. Especially if I see the road, if I see the electricity, if I see the medical facilities, government has ensured that you move from exclusive to inclusive. When I was growing up, bachas, at that time, medical, getting into IIT and medical was very exclusive, very privileged thing. Why? Because there were a number of medical colleges, there were a number of IITs which used to exist at that point of time. But look at today's time. You have almost medical colleges in every district headquarters. Majority of the states have now medical college coming out of every district headquarters. This is a plan of the current government. And same goes with IITs and coming into different states. And the numbers are growing. And there's a whole exclusive idea of sort of this privilege kind of stuff has gone down. And there's more opportunities for the individuals, for the common people, for the bachas to go and get into all this. And if I conclude all these things, again, I bring it to the same concept. In democracy, the authority is given to you through the vote. And that is why those who are kind of going to represent us, they need to be accountable. And because you are giving the authority, the duty lies with the individuals, those who are giving this authority. On what is your motivation to give the authority to the people? Motivation is caste, motivation is money, motivation is religion, or your motivation is that development should be my motivation, that someone whom I believe can run this country, or say take this country to the next level. And that's why it's very important those who are kind of giving the vote or casting their vote, giving their authority to someone to lead, they should be very clear why. Because you will, at the end of the day, you will get what you deserve. If you don't deserve good governance, you will not get good governance. And I think this is the main focal point on which elections in coming days and years, and when you guys will be casting your first time your vote, when you will turn 18, I think this should be the focus area, that you should be casting your vote based on what you deserve and what kind of your motivation you have at that time. So thank you very much, Priya ma'am, for inviting me and allowing me to speak. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Vidukesh sir, for your wonderful words and how you synced in with what sir was saying so well and came down to the level of these children. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do stay on, sir. It's just a little while more for the students, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Deepti ma'am, may I request you to please carry on?
Thank you, sir. Your words mean a lot. It was a pleasure and an honor listening to you. Your words leave us wiser and inspire all of us to strive for excellence and become the best in whichever field we choose to be.
I now invite Anj and Amrit to take up the next topic. Democracy enhances the dignity of an individual.
Now, I'm going to delve into a topic that lies at the heart of our societal and political structure: democracy and its role in enhancing the dignity of citizens. Democracy, as we know, is more than just a system of governance. It's a fundamental principle that upholds the rights and dignity of individuals within a society. At its core, democracy ensures that every citizen has a voice, a say in how they are governed, and the ability to participate in the decision making processes that shape their lives. One of the most profound ways in which democracy enhances the dignity of citizens is through the principle of equality. In a democratic society, all individuals considered equal before the law, regardless of their background, socioeconomic status, or any factor. This means that every citizen has the right to be treated with fairness and respect, without discrimination or prejudice. This equality underpins the dignity of each person, affirming their worth and value as members of society. Furthermore, democracy fosters accountability and transparency in governance. In a democracy, leaders are elected by the people and are accountable to them. This accountability ensures that leaders are held responsible for their actions and decisions, and that they serve the interests of the citizens who have entrusted them with power. When citizens have the ability to hold their leaders accountable, it reinforces their sense of dignity by affirming their agency and influence in shaping the direction of their society. Another crucial aspect of democracy is the protection of individual rights and freedoms. Democracy typically enshrine certain fundamental rights in their constitutions, such as freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and the right to a fair trial. These rights are essential by safeguarding the dignity of citizens as they empower individuals to express themselves freely, participate in civil life, and seek justice when their rights are infringed upon. Moreover, democracy encourages active citizenship and civic engagement. When citizens are given the opportunity to participate in the democratic process, whether through voting, advocacy, or community involvement, it fosters a sense of belonging and ownership in their society. This active engagement not only strengthens the democratic fabric of a nation, but also enhances the dignity of citizens by affirming their importance and contribution to the collective well being. In conclusion, democracy is not merely a political system, it is a fundamental framework for upholding the dignity and rights of a citizen. By promoting equality, accountability, individual rights, and civic engagement, democracy empowers individuals to live with dignity and to actively participate in shaping the society in which they live. What do you think of it, Amrit?
Absolutely, I like to share my opinion as well. And I'm also here to tell you about how democracy enhances the dignity of citizens in a country. Democracy is a system in which the power to select its leaders is given to the population of the nation. However, it is often misunderstood as being only a constitutional term, but that is not the case. Democracy is a system that learns from its mistakes, that listens to its people, and that runs for the benefit of everyone. Imagine an India where there is no democracy, an India where people have no power, an India where the income gap between the poor and rich just increases, and an India where leaders and lawmakers are selfish and only after money and power. Now stop imagining for a second, because democracy will not lead to such an India. Sure, there are flaws in the system. There may be many people who exploit the system and play with the emotions of others. But if true democracy exists, it will slowly but surely punish all those who exploit others. It will increase the earning of an average man. It will lead to satisfaction among citizens. And it will lead to a happy, united, and dignified India. Democracy allows its citizens access to information and power, which would allow them to choose their leaders and lead better lives. Take the example of the 2005 RTI Act in India, which allowed all the citizens to ask the government about information regarding governance and its technical aspects. This is a very important example which showcases how democracy enhances the dignity of its citizens. In conclusion, a quote from our late former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, shows the power of democracy. A son of a poor man is standing in front of you today. That, my friends, is the power of democracy. By the way, Ariman, did you know about this fact? Apparently, the Indian constitution is the largest in the world. What are your opinion?
I love that fact, Amrit. Great explanation too, but things are getting a little too boring. How about I switch things up a little? Let's talk about collective responsibility, or how I'd like to frame it, sharing the blame. Collective responsibility in politics, like a finely woven tapestry, recognizes the interwoven threads that bind politicians, government officials, and citizens together in a common quest for the betterment of society. It acknowledges that the success of a nation is not solely determined by the actions of its leaders, but relies on the active engagement and participation of its citizens. After all, we can't always depend on some messiah to save us. In the realm of politics, collective responsibility calls upon politicians to wield their power with integrity, transparency, and a genuine concern for the well being of their constituents. Collective responsibility in politics is not limited to those who occupy power or corridors of power. It extends its embrace to citizenry, for it is the people who hold the key to a vibrant democratic tapestry. We as citizens have a responsibility to unravel the intricacies of political discourse. As the famous meme goes, trade offer. The country receives your vote. And what do we receive? A proper government with a proper political structure and a lack of the corruption that we keep complaining about. Moreover, collective responsibility in politics calls for a harmonious symphony of collaboration and unity. It beckons politicians to transcend the cacophony of partisan divisions, to bridge ideological gaps, and have constructive dialogue, kind of like we are right now. Now, if you didn't get bored from all my quirky explanations, I'm sure Kanav would like to speak more on this topic.
Thank you, Armin, for calling. You have given such a great explanation. Now, I would like to add more points to it. Collective responsibility is considered as a factor that ensures that ministers of central government are held as accountable for consequences of their work and changes. Article 75.3 and 164.3 are essential articles that ensure that minister have individual decision-making power. Collective responsibility has been an essential principle of parliamentary government of India. Collective responsibility can make decisions for their own department. It also means that they are held responsible to Parliament in any case of consequence. The principle of collective responsibility is considered the cornerstone of government. In this aspect, there are two basic components. First one is the notion that ministers are able to conduct honest and open conversation before reaching into further consequences. The second one is related to the position of cabinet that can be agreed upon by all ministers. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanav, and all the participants for your valuable contribution. Mr. Mayank Chari, as our esteemed chief guest, we welcome you to pose your questions to our panelists. Your insights will surely add depth to our discussion on democracy.
Fantastic, fantastic. Once again, very, very interesting round of ideas and the concepts that you've all seen. I have one last question that I'd love to share with all of you. And I hope you're able to once again understand that democracy is not just about the higher institutions of our government, but also a very important concept in our personal lives. So, how can we personally, as individuals, become more democratic? Yes, Shaurya, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as democracy in ourselves also a very important part, there are many examples. Citizen should use their power to vote. Sir, secondly, many people have saw that many political parties and candidates misuse their resources, for example, giving people bribe. So a responsible citizen should report this immediately to the election commission so that these kind of things stop. And sir, if something is going wrong, there is corruption or anything that is not appropriate, so people should take part in protests and also at max level file PILs against the thing that is going wrong. So these can be few steps which will lead to a good change.
Very interesting answer, Shaurya. We'll have Amrit next.
Yes, sir. Sir, I completely agree with Shaurya. In fact, some of my points are the same as him. But I would like to add something. In India, which is the largest democracy in the world, the citizens have a major role to play out how the country would be shaped in the future. So the citizens' actions are as important as the government's actions, because they will decide who is going to lead them, who is going to give the solutions to their problems, who is going to help them, who is going to increase their wealth, increase their overall happiness. So uh, an important role as students and as other people we should play this role is that we should encourage others to stand up for themselves. Many people get I don't have the exact word for it, but many people get crumpled under the pressure of things that happen, and they think that they are too small to take any action or to make any change. But I think that to make a change in the world, you have to start a change by yourself and in yourself. So when you finally realize it, when you start something by yourselves, and if you're correct in there, and if you passionately follow it, people will join you. And when people will join you, the government will have no choice but to listen to you. And if the government still doesn't listen, then there is PIL and all the other mechanisms which Shaurya mentioned. Thank you.
Very insightful answer, Amrit. We will have Arunya next.
Sir, as we talked about all the topics, I think we have talked about almost everything in how we can be democratic. First, by, as we talked in the last discussion, the right to vote. We should exercise our right to vote, and we should be informed of political issues. We also talked about accommodating social diversity, so we need to respect the rights and opinions of others. Participating in civic activities is also one of them, and fulfilling these civic duties, such as paying taxes and obeying laws. These are some of the main points, I think, in which we can personally be democratic.
Very good, Arunya. Very good. We'll have Yashvi next.
Sir, I think that the citizens should voice their the things that they find are not the government is not taking care of. They should not back out from their responsibility and understand that it is their government and their country, and they are as responsible as important as the government of that country. They should also recognize that it's their choice, it's their leaders who they are electing, so they should be mindful enough to elect the leaders who will promote growth and progress rather than decreasing the wealth and the economic growth of the country.
Excellent, Yashasvi. Excellent.
Thank you,
We'll.
sir.
I think I saw Shinjan's hand raised, but
Yes, sir.
go ahead. Go
Sir,
ahead.
sir, I wanted, sir, as Sir Amrit said, every citizen, every crore, we have a population of around 140 crore, and there are, as Om Pathak sir told, there are 99 crore voters. So, sir, if we feel any minor problems, specific problems in our country, even even if one of we uh, s- go against the government, and if the people of the country feel that yes, he has some point, and we also feel the same problem, everybody, even crores of people will stand against the government and request for their rights and all the problems and issues going on in the country. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Excellent answer. I think I'll move to Priya ma'am now.
And Mayank, it's not me, although it's been lovely hearing you, your questions. You came down to the level of children to ask questions, and how wonderful answers they gave. Really, it's so amazing. Absolutely, they left me spellbound with their answers and how they could associate. That was really wonderful. I'll hand over the mic to the compeers to take the proceedings further. And Vidukesh sir is there, then he would also like to say something. Otherwise, I think he has left. Please check, Deepti ma'am, Meenakshi ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, sir is very much present here.
Vidukesh sir, can we please request you to ask a few questions? Vidukesh sir? He said he had a meeting actually, Meenakshi.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll still check on him. Right? Can we carry on with the cartoons then? Or I'll just call him then, right? And we can carry on with the cartoon round and he can be there to ask questions for the cartoon.
Fine.
And then we conclude.
While our speakers were engaged in animated discussions about the various aspects of democracy, our artists were busy drawing cartoons and caricatures. May I now request our talented cartoonists to take center stage and explain what they have created?
So, here's my cartoon on free and fair elections. In a country like India, where where states have or don't have a particular amount of development, people have expectations that are met by such promises of freebies when elections come around. Demand of the petitioners violates free and fair elections. The ECI's mandate for free and fair elections, according to the petitioner, is violated by arbitrary offer of nonessential gifts. Now I wonder what Amrit has drawn.
Oh, thank you, Sachi. My caricature is based on rule of law, and as rule of law states, in my caricature depicts an important ideology in a democratic nation called rule of law. Here, a child is shown asking his parents when could he vote. Their parents reply by saying that child would be able to vote when he turns 18, as their country is a democratic nation where everyone has to follow the laws. But suddenly the child has another question, and he asks, but what if lawmakers act against the law? Would they be punished as well? So the parents answered to his curiosity by stating that even lawmakers would be punished if they act against the law. As in India, everyone is equal before the law. This caricature shows the importance of rule of law in a democracy. Rule of law is what allows people to get justice even if the one who is accused is a lawmaker. This maintains a strict and disciplined environment in a country which allows it to flourish. Thank you very much. Now I wonder what the other cartoonists have to show.
This is my caricature, also on the rule of law. This is a comic strip. The rule of law states that all people are equal in the eyes of the law and no matter their status in society. To capture this, I drew a boy who is the son of some big politician and he has let the power get to his head. Even though he threatens the police officer with his authority, the police officer finds him and reminds him of the rule of law, which again states everyone is equal. Thus, the law is upheld and justice is served. I wonder, what will the next caricature be about?
Wow, Devi, you have a very good caricature. I really like that. Now, here is my caricature. In embodying this caricature, I'm reminded of the power of representation. We live in a world where diversity in all its forms should be celebrated and embraced. Each caricature, whether drawn or lived, offers a unique perspective, a story to tell, and a voice to be heard. Through this caricature, I have tried to showcase how rich our diversity is. I'm not just representing myself, but a community of individuals who, like me, refuse to be confined by conventional norms. We are the colorful strokes on the canvas of life, reminding the world of the beauty and difference. Now I wonder what is next caricature trying to show.
That was a cool caricature, Kushi. My illustration is a little similar to yours. It features individuals of diverse ages, ethnicities, and cultural backgrounds, adorned in cultural attire like turbans and hijabs, conveying a message of celebrating differences and promoting inclusivity and mutual respect. This overall shows accommodating of social diversity. Now, I wonder what the next caricature would be.
The cartoon that I am showing you is is a related to the theme of free and fair elections. The cartoon shows an individual at a voting booth labeled free and fair elections. However, the voter is chained to a large bag of money, symbolizing the influence of financial power on the electoral process. The cartoon serves as a critical commentary on the challenges faced in ensuring that cartoons are free from the corrupting influence of money. The chain and money bag represent the constraints and pressures that can distort the democratic process where financial interest might override the genuine will of the people. It's a powerful visual metaphor for the ongoing struggle to maintain the integrity of elections and the democratic principle that every citizen should have an equal voice in the electoral process, free from caution or manipulation. So, this is all about my cartoon. Thank you.
I would request comparers to go ahead.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can I tell about the cartoon on freedom of speech?
Yes, of course, Sister Joy.
Yes.
Ruhani, could you take it back, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Hello, everyone. What I have tried to depict here is that though freedom of speech and expression is a fundamental right guaranteed by the Constitution of India, we must understand that we cannot misuse this freedom. Restrictions are imposed to ensure the sovereignty and integrity of our country, to maintain public order, preventing speech or expression that incites violence, rioting, or any attempt to breach the peace of the nation. It includes preventing any form of speech or expression that incites hatred, discrimination, or hostility towards individuals or groups.
That was really impressive. We warmly welcome Vidukesh sir and Mayank sir to engage with the cartoonists and panelists about the cartoons. Your questions and insights will be invaluable in exploring the artistry, commentary, and relevance of the cartoons presented.
Let me begin by saying that they were really, really interesting. And I can't believe that you were able to capture such complex social and political ideas in such a interesting and engaging art form. The question I have for the cartoonist is very simple. Uh, Recently, the media has become more and more important as a machine to convey information to the voters. So, in that sense, there are many people in India who are uneducated and are not able to access print journalism, but are able to access ideas in the form of the written, or in the form of the arts. So, what is the importance of arts to disseminate ideas regarding democracy and ideas regarding the importance of elections? Amrit, we'll start with you.
Yes, sir. Sir, I presume by arts you meant something like paintings, etc. But for me, it also includes watching YouTube videos. You know, you see a lot of information spreading around. Sometimes it's misinformation, but such YouTube videos spark an engagement between the audience. It leads to them thinking about more about the topic. For example, if there is an electoral bond scam video, then people will question what exactly happened there. They'll Google it. They'll get to the depth of it. And when they finally make their decision on who they support, then they'll be able to vote what they think would be the right winner, the right leader for them. At the same time, many times you can see a lot of artists who are struggling for work, trying to find work, but many times drawing such political drawings also help them to, reach out to show the world about their drawing skills, about their artistry, which not only helps them, but also, creates a kind of conversation which always keeps on going and going and going. And people finally talk about problems that need to be addressed. People do not sit quiet and, take a third person perspective point of view. They sit in the back, enjoy, and watch like it's on TV or something. No. But such things and such creative drawings, such creative videos, such creative art forms enable people to actually consider that what is going wrong with our country, what is going right with our country, what can we do better, what can our leaders do better, and what do we need from them. Thank you very much.
Very engaging views, Amrit. We'll move on to Streamjoy.
Sir, I completely agree with Amrit as he mentioned about the videos of the YouTube. A large amount of population in the whole world is engaged in social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and other Twitter. So sir, if we express our thoughts and opinions creatively in the form of any video or art, so the so the consumer will also be interested to know more about democracy and our country. Sir, we sometimes feel democracy and politics a little boring. So if we convey it through arts and creative videos with good information, so sir, I feel that we will know more about democracy, and we will learn and we will remember it because we learned it in a good way and we did not just read it or it we heard somewhere, we watched it. Sir, as watching is very necessary, and uh, watching creative videos in our mind, they settle in our mind and we remember always what we watched. Thank you, sir.
Excellent, excellent. You're very right. Arunya?
Sir, so I wanted to say that these days I've been reading the comics which come in newspapers, and I saw one in the morning about democracy. So I see that they catch your attention very well, and they make you understand the point which is being conveyed by the picture itself. Sometimes we cannot understand it by listening to it or reading, but we can understand by a visual depiction. So I think that's a very important point of artworks being included to understand political points.
Very true. You're absolutely right. We'll move to, if I'm not wrong, Shaurya, are you with us?
Uh, so, as Amrit said, that YouTube videos are a very good way to convey things, especially political things and economical things. So that is absolutely correct. If we talk about India, the press freedom index has now went down till 161st rank. That is not good. So the artisans and especially the YouTube creators are now making videos to make people aware. The latest example is Mr. Sonam Wangchuk in Ladakh, who has recorded his journey of how he protested and the people of Ladakh protested against the laws and wanted the sixth schedule to be posted in Ladakh. So he recorded it in YouTube videos, in the form of YouTube videos. Another example of this is there were many poets in Pakistan, for example, Habib Zalib, who recited many poems against the dictatorship going on in the Pakistan there. In India, like in the freedom during the time of the freedom struggle, the poems of Rabindranath Tagore and others were like people used to connect through them instead of reading books, as uneducated people cannot read that big articles and books, but can really connect well from the artisans or the place. So these are very good ways to convey things, and people can understand things for the people in their own language. That is the most important part of it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for such a nice answer. We'll move to Sachi.
Yes, sir. So as you told that many people in India are uneducated and they cannot access print media. As we know that the uneducated people can also understand if they're listening to voice messages and YouTube videos. So the social media which does not has print media but has in the what do you say video which has videos and who can make people listen these things or protest, that media can help people to get aware regarding democracy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Very well said. So, if sir is not here, I'll ask one last question and then we can move on to the next section, which is how can we protect ourselves from misinformation? Because misinformation is a very dangerous thing that's now part of our media ecosystem today. So, how can you protect yourself from misinformation? Amrit, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think this the answer of this question would correlate to the previous answer I gave. I believe misinformation spreads like wildfire. But at the same time, when positive, correct information is also spread, people get to know what is the truth. So when you see, exaggerated news on WhatsApp, there are many social handles there. When you see news by people who are not a trustable source, who write a lot of things which are not true, you should always fact check everything. Make sure you search it from the primary source and not believe something which you saw from a tertiary source. Since a tertiary source, um, when news comes to the news media, everything they exaggerate it, and by the time it reaches articles, WhatsApps, it gets so much exaggerated that the original content in the news is not even there anymore. So people should always believe news from trustable sources and always should fact check even if they believe that what the person is saying is correct. Thank you.
Very good answer, Amrit. Sinjoy?
Yes, sir. Sir, in my opinion, to stop spreading misinformation, the only way is education. Sir, if we will have the right education from the right sources, right teachers, so sir, we will know more about anything, any event or any uh, political party, anything. So sir, we will be more able to we will be more able to speak on them and speak it right. Sir, I have seen in the WhatsApp forwards, the messages are very 95% times fake, and we believe in them because they are very, sir, I am not finding the right word. Sir, they are very exciting, if I say. Sir, some will say that he has done this, he has done this, or like something. So sir, we should study more, we should know about more, as so we can stop spreading misinformation. Thank you, sir.
Excellent answer, Sinjoy. Really, you're absolutely right. They're psychologically very exciting. That's why we believe them. We will move to Arunya.
Sir, I believe that Amrit and Srinjoy were very right on this point that we should stop it by not believing in uh, theories but in facts. What we can find online or on trusted sources. Now what these fake newses are made or fake messages are sent. Some are very obvious that they are fake, but some are very, what we call it in Hindi, masaledar, that they tempt us to believe in them. So that is what I wanted to say, and that we should not believe on such facts. We should believe on the real facts that we can find on trusted sources. We should also talk to our elders because they are much mature than us and they know what's good and what's bad. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. We'll move to Shaurya and then Aditya.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as Amrit said, we should first verify and cross-check the news. Sir, it is a famous saying that half truth is even more dangerous than a complete lie. So there are many examples that, and nowadays even AI deepfake videos are also used to defame many people. Recently, a deepfake video of our home minister was viral uh, by whomsoever to defame him. So we should answer. It is the main thing that we should not form our opinions just by seeing one video or one rally. We should first cross check it, and there are, sir, in Hindi there is a word jumla. Many people say that this is correct, but we should first analyze it. That is, if a person is speaking that he is corrupt or he is or they are corrupt or we will do good work. So, sir, we should first, sir, in terms of politics, as we are discussing about democracy and we are in the election time. So, if a political party says anything, we should first read its manifesto and analyze that whether they will be able to do or not. Like whatever promises they are doing, even that if the government economy can support it or not. We should not just rely on the news spread by. Thank you.
Very, very good answer. We'll end with Aditya now.
Yes, sir. So thank you for lending me a chance to give an answer. So I really connected with what Shaurya and Srinjoy said about WhatsApp messages and this deepfake AI videos. Because, sir, I remember that during the lockdown times or even before that or after that, one meme went viral named WhatsApp University. Because people were facing such things that when those messages were forwarded in some groups, those messages were so different. Like for example, collaboration of Modi ji with NASA. That was very misinformative, and people believe on that, and you will always experience that these messages are always shared on the groups where elderly people are there who don't know much about technology, but not on groups like children who are our age, like 14 or 15 years, or youngsters basically who are in their 20s, because they know that this is the time where online many people will share fake news. But like also we can see, first of all, to prevent misinformation, we must check the source on which we are reading. Like for example, Times of India, Economic Times. These are the trusted sources through which we should look. And nowadays, people think that Wikipedia is the most trusted site, but no, because Wikipedia is not, because there normal people put their information, which can be informative and misinformative at the same time. And secondly, always cross verify that. Of course, the students before me answered that cross verifying is always the key. Look in the news, if you see something controversial that is being said by a celebrity or some minister or some political leader, we must always check the news, because in the news they will always tell that he or she said something this much controversial, so that we can get an idea that yes, this was misinformative or this was real content.
Very, very good answer. Yes, and you're absolutely right that the elderly are very, very vulnerable to misinformation because they are not digitally literate enough to, verify the facts that they come across. So fantastic. Everyone gave very, very good answers. And once again, I'm very, very impressed with the general awareness that all the students have with respect to such complex issues that even today's society is not able to completely grapple with. So I'll move on to the comparers now, and we can move on to the next.
Thank you so much, sir. Your presence and wisdom have indeed enriched our discussion today. We are immensely grateful for your valuable contributions and insightful questions. You have really led the session into one where everyone could speak whatever they felt right from our hearts. I would now like to invite Pooja ma'am for the word of thanks.
Thank you, Rohani. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of DPSG Schools, it is my privilege to extend a vote of thanks to the Honorable Chief Guest for the event, Mr. Mayank Chari. Thank you, sir, for your benign presence and insightful address. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chairman, Mr. Om Pathak. Sir, your wisdom, expertise, and inspiring words have left an indelible mark on all of us. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence and leadership. My sincere thanks to Dr. Vidukesh Vimal, Principal DPSG Palam Vihar, for your benign presence. We greatly appreciate the thought-provoking ideas you have presented. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Ms. Priya Ved, Assistant Director, Central Academic Department, for her constant support and valuable inputs. Thank you, ma'am. I also thank Captain Dr. Dinisha Bharadwaj Singh, DPSG Mayor Road. Ma'am, you are a guiding light who has always provided support to us. Thank you, ma'am, for being the pillar of support and you are helping us to reach new horizons. I would like to thank all the parents for sharing our dreams and again ensuring their active participation in our school's programs. A big thank you to the proud parents. Finally, I would like to congratulate the children for all their passion and hard work. Congratulations, children. We have been fortunate enough to be supported by a very motivated and dedicated team who have been working hard to make this show a success. Thank you all. I would also like to extend our gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of today's event, including our organizing committee, volunteers, and all those behind the scenes who worked tirelessly to ensure everything and run smoothly. At the end, I once again thank all of you for your support and presence today. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can the presenters stay on, please, and the teachers? Thank you, Mayank. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
As we
It was so
conclude
lovely
our
to have you.
exploration of the features and aspects of democracy, it becomes evident that democracy is not merely a form of government, but a philosophy rooted in the principles of equality, freedom, and justice. By empowering citizens, upholding the rule of law, and safeguarding fundamental rights, democracy serves a beacon of hope for those who seek a more just and inclusive society. Let us reaffirm our commitment to the ideals of democracy and work tirelessly to uphold them for generations to come. You are indeed a great inspiration to all of us.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye, dear. See you. I request the teachers and the students to stay on, please, the presenters.
So the first question will be from Team A.
I think, Meenakshi ma'am, we can have another meeting then. We should all leave and perhaps we could join later.
All right, ma'am.
Yeah, because
you,
it
ma'am.
seems to be taking more time.
Sure, ma'am.
Now
Thank you,
including the
everyone.
students.
Thank you,
Yes, of
students.
course, the students have to be
Okay.
there. The presenters have to be there, Meenakshi ma'am, before the day closes for the teachers.
Ma'am,
Excuse me,
so
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, so at what time should we be back at the second
1
meeting?
minute. Let me have the clarity and get back to you. Arunya, just wait for a while.
Okay, ma'am.
And we could just create another meeting and they could just join that, right?
If possible, we can remove all the attendees who are still in the meeting.
That doesn't seem too kind, Amrit.
Maybe they switched on it. They are offline.
Yeah, the math quiz is going on actually. They are on the last round.
Oh,
Ma'am, we join on the meeting for the rehearsals, which we have on at 11. You can join there.
The same
Yes,
link
absolutely.
can
We
be
can
shared
do
with the
that.
children also.
Yes, ma'am.
Demographics. Option
Which
A,
link,
by alphabetically
Jyoti, from?
organizing populations segments. Option B, by categorizing population.
Is it on grade 9 group? The synergy group?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
Pooja ma'am, can we leave from here and join there?
I think so. We can leave from here and join there.
Okay, ma'am.
That link, that link
where?
is shared with the children.
Ma'am, the
The
rehearsal
link will
link.
be shared by.
Rehearsal link. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Just share that link, है ना? Please share it once more, ma'am. Yeah. Pooja ma'am, you can share.
This is
Okay,
for
ma'am.
all
The
the
same link, right?
presenters, right? All the presenters and teachers, I think.
I shared.